plugged in. Are you talking to me? Why is this not plugged in? Oh, that's why. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dirt on Gardening podcast. I'm your host, Andre the Farmer. Let's see, there a way for me to put a title on this thing? I wish I knew how to work so that much better than I do. We are going to be joined by the chocolate botanist, Derek. Let's see if we can get up on here. We are also streaming on YouTube as well. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
I am phenomenal. You know, nothing was plugged in, and I'm trying to get my phone to be charging. So I'm feeling good. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. I'm a little bit tired. I had a really pressing last 7 days. It's been a lot going on here.
What you been doing?
Oh my goodness. Well, about a week ago, I went to Mexico, and I was in Mexico for about 5 days, and then I came back Wednesday, and then Thursday morning we drove down to Key West, which is about an 8-hour drive from here. On a boat, and we went fishing, and we were fishing from Thursday through till Sunday. And I got home last night around midnight after driving back up from the Keys, barely sleeping. And then I processed the fish, got to bed around 3 o'clock in the morning, and got up at 6 to go to work. And I worked all day. So yeah, that was my weekend. It was a lot.
My God, today, and you up here with us. Y'all see what we do to be able to give you this. So y'all make sure y'all are hitting us with your questions.
So how was your weekend? What are you up to?
Now, you know, I actually went to see my family. I went to Morehead City on the coast of North Carolina. So both of us are on the coast to a certain extent. And I just went and see my family and do what I usually do, go running around, buying groceries, cooking, cleaning up, sprayed a little bit around the house to make sure there ain't no bugs going in. And, you know, just did my typical thing being, you know, helping everybody. I did so much when I was there. I tried to block it out because I was tired when I got there. Tired as can be, because it's a 3-hour trip down and a 3-hour trip back. So, wow.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, and that's tough. Not that, but for me, the Keys drive, like, it's 8 hours. It doesn't feel like 8 hours. I don't know if it's because I'm always happy when I'm going to the Keys.
Wow.
But, like, I feel like that 8-hour drive is easier than some 2 or 3 hour drives that I have to do. Like, I just feel like it's just a joyous drive. Like, you know, you're in Miami, past Miami, you're at the top of the Keys, and then it's like 3 hours down the Keys. But if you've never been to the Florida Keys, I'm telling you, you have to go to the Florida Keys.
I got to.
Caribbean. It's a series of little islands, and there's bridges that connect each island, and it's a magical place.
Wow. Well, you know, my 3-hour drive felt like 10, so we definitely should have switched. So I think that would have been it. And to the people asking, we're going to be talking about our origin stories today. Those of you asking the topics, but you can still ask your questions.
Yes, I thought someone had a live pineapple there. Congratulations on the live pineapple.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous of them.
Let's see. What was it? I missed it. Okay. Chesapeake Jam. Chesapeake Jam?
Wow.
Good job. So,
wow.
Derek, tell us about your origin story. How did you get into
gardening?
Oh my
God.
When did you start and how did you get into gardening?
So I've been planting forever. So those of you who be like, Derek, how long have you been doing this? I'm 35. I can remember playing and just enjoying and being enthralled with plants for you. Some people are like, oh, you don't have memories that far. I do. 3 and 4 are blurry, and they're getting more blurrier over the years. But I can remember running up and down the hills of Vanceboro. Those of you who are familiar with North Carolina, and just being excited. Just New Bern back in the day, it was so planty. So I love science. You know, those of us who are in the 90s, was alive during the 90s. Bill Nye, Beekman's World, Captain Planet, The Magic School Bus, my grandmother, the life. You remember the QVC network, and you could go and order the stuff?
Right. Yeah.
My grandmother was like, he loves science. I'm getting him every science thing they had. Microscopes, magnifying glasses, VHS tapes, the Life VHS tape series with all the sciences and histories. She got me all of that. Like, I had everything. That's why I'm like the academic geekwad I am now, between that and just being like my daddy. And I don't know. Like, I wanted to be an engineer and a chemist and all these other things to fix the world. Right. And in high school, we had to do a project on, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? So I had to, VHS tapes. We had the VHS tapes. And I would rewind it, then rewind them things back, watch. I would read all the science books, everything else. So in high school, we had to do a research project on, like, a PowerPoint presentation. Make what you want to be when you grow up. And I thought about all the gardening I've been doing for years. I started really being good at gardening at 15. I started trying to do some planty stuff at 6. I had like a great pumpkin vine when I was 8. I did vermicomposting back in the day, like all types of stuff. And I was like looking into engineering and chemistry, and they seemed cool, but something just pushed me. Jesus pushed me into agriculture, looking at agriculture. And I was like, well, not really. And then horticulture, not really. But then that botany came in, right? And I was like, this is it. This is me. So since like 2005 or 6 at the earliest, I've been like, I am going to be a botanist. And here we are roughly 20 years later.
So you knew from a pretty early age that you wanted to be a botanist.
I knew from a pretty early age I wanted to be a scientist, period.
Right.
I knew as a child I would draw stuff. My grandmother and grandfather, my grandfather worked at Sprint. My grandmother worked at Cherry Point, the base. So you could get those legal sticky pads. I would draw all my inventions in this. And I'm talking about, again, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to fix the pollution in the earth. And this is going to fix the pollution in the air. And this is going to fix the pollution in the water. And I'm going to solve the world's problems with these machines that will clear everything else, and then they'll take all of it and recycle it at plants, and the machines will be able just to do it themselves, like drones and stuff back before they were like a thing of the now. It was just dreams.
You still have time?
No, I don't, because engineering, I'm glad. Yogi, if I could find him, I'd thump him in his head. We don't want to be no engineer. Stop it. In chemistry, I like base level chemistry, but not organic. So I can't do nobody's organic chemistry. So I've been planting forever.
So what's the first like successful plant that you think you had in your life that made you like get into gardening?
So it was to really say like, oh, I can do this, because I'm very persistent. Like some things, if I fail, I'm like, I have to master this. So I tried a watermelon at the trailer off the outskirts of New Bern. There's a area called Colonial Trailer Park. Still there. And I tried a watermelon that I planted like right beside the steps. But childhood me would also jump right in that area off the steps. So it came up. It did come up. It did not make it past coming up, because for some reason it broke. And I don't know what exactly broke it, but it was definitely broke when I looked down after jumping over to the side. So I was like, oh, okay, we'll try it again. I tried a pecan at the back of some apartments we lived in New Bern. And not a pecan, a peach. Tried that in the back of some apartments. That didn't work. I later tried a pumpkin. My brother had this wagon that had all these like big blocks that were like Legos, but not knockoffs. And I grew the most, it was maybe 10, 20 feet of a pumpkin vine. Had all types of vine. No pumpkins. Chances are my family was going out and spraying for the bees. But I had all sorts of vine, no pumpkin. And I was like, I have to figure this out. So when my grandmother moved and got a house and land, I was like, oh, let me take care of this. And until I left New Bern, that yard looked, it wasn't the most home and gardens, but it was definitely upkept.
Okay. And then you went to school to become a botanist.
Oh yeah, go State, go Pack.
Wait, North Carolina State?
Yes, the one, the only.
Okay, all right. What is that? What is that thing?
That's the wolf. Wolf Pack.
That's a wolf?
That's a wolf. You don't see the wolf. You don't see the wolf.
Okay.
See the Chariot, they do this now. That's Pocket. That's what the Chariot do. They do this for Pocket. But this is the wolf.
Yeah. All right. You say it's a wolf, I'll believe it.
So I went to school for it. Worked with some nonprofits that were community gardens, and then eventually was like, hey, you people don't believe a thing I say. I'm just a crazy botanist. I don't know what I'm talking about. Somebody told me to brand that. I said, nobody wants to hear me. This was 2018. I rebranded as the Chocolate Botanist in 2020 after doing this for a couple of years. And here I am talking to you today.
So wait, what was your original name?
The Crazy Botanist. I was crazy because in frustration, I would tell these older people, like, I'm gonna do square foot gardening. Oh, that doesn't work. I got the book. I read it. I can grow these plants. Oh, that's not gonna work. I'm just a crazy botanist. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna grow loofah. So like you could clean yourself with a gourd. It's a gourd. It grows like a squash pretty much. Oh, it's not gonna grow here. We can't grow that here. I'm just a crazy botanist. I don't know what I'm talking about. You've never tried. You've never given it the attention, and then I do it, and it's a success. And you're like, oh, you had great success. Of course I did. I went to school for this. I don't just, like when y'all don't see me here, I'm multifaceted. I grow a bunch of these at home. I grow plants everywhere. Like, this is my world. So that's when I was the Crazy Botanist, and then again, rebranded. So those of you who follow me years and years ago, I was Botanical Highlander on Instagram because I couldn't get the Crazy Botanist name. And then when I rebranded as the Chocolate Botanist, it was like, oh, this name is open. Let's do it. And then I've been the Chocolate Botanist ever since. The people love it.
All right. I like it. Well,
yes, I need.
So wait.
Yes, I know. You're gonna have to wake us up now and tell us your origin. Cause see, right. I gave you the abridged.
Well, I'll tell you what. My origin story is probably less interesting than yours in many ways. But one, people ask me a lot about my AirPods and why they're sort of sticking to the sides. It's because my ears don't fit in AirPods. Like they don't fit in my ears. They don't stay in. And the only way I can get them to stay is I gotta like turn them like this to get them.
You got small ears, don't you?
I do have small ears.
You know they say small ear people are stingy. Is that true?
Stingy? I don't think I'm stingy.
That's what they say. That's an old That's an old Southern phrase. I just taught you something.
Or just going to answer the question here. So Absa asked, do you primarily use organic methods? Well, first of all, before I even get into that, I just want to say that there's no health difference between whether you have things that are organic or not organic. You're going to pay a little bit more, but you're not improving your health. Save that money and buy more of something that's good for you and less of things that are bad for you. But generally, I don't use pesticides unless there's a problem in the garden, and then even then, it's going to be things like neem oil. I'm pretty sure everything that I use would be on the legal, on the organic side of the pesticides that you're allowed to use. But it's very rare. Like this year, I had to do my lychee tree because I had lychee mite, but before that, it's probably been maybe a couple of years since I've had to use anything. If they write small too, means they're tight with money.
See, Lazy Mama knows what I'm talking about.
I write illegibly, like illegible.
Well, you a doctor, ain't you?
Kind of.
That's no kind of. You's a doctor. Y'all call him Dr. Andre the Farmer.
So I write illegibly. Am I saying that right? Illegibly? You can barely read what I write. Anyways, so my origin story.
Yes.
My grandmother used to garden. She used to make me get in the garden and help her. I hated every second of it. I did not learn a single thing from my grandmother at all because I never paid attention. It was just a little backyard garden, a little square plot, and she'd be out there way too old, out there picking stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing? Go up and see grandma.
Go to sleep.
But anyways, but she was. It's weird though. Cause I think about how old she was. Like she was like Oh, what happened? Derek.
You keep focusing on the story. You're good.
Because when I look at her age and I do the math, like she was like 60. Like she was like 5 years older than I am now. And I thought she was like this crazy old woman.
But that's good.
Yeah. But anyways, I didn't start gardening till I moved into this house right here. And this was about 9 years ago. We moved into this house. We built this house. And I decided that I wanted to plant a mango tree. I just wanted one mango tree.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about mango trees. I couldn't pick a mango tree out of a lineup at that time. And I just went to the nursery, saw a mango tree, said, all right, let me get that mango tree. And it turned out it was a Kent mango. And I got a mango off it the first year. I was like, you know what? If I have 2 mango trees, I'm going to get way more mangoes. So I bought another mango tree. It was supposed to be a Kent mango tree as well. And for years, I thought it was a Kent. Turned out it was something different. I still don't know what it is exactly. I thought it was a Tommy, but it's not a Tommy. It's better than a Tommy. But anyways, after that, I started watching videos. So, I was thinking, I started seeing what a food forest is. And I started learning about permaculture. And then I planted an avocado tree, then a lychee tree, then a Barbados cherry. And then it just became addictive. And everything I could get my hands on, I started planting. My wife would have sweet potatoes in the kitchen. I go, I'm planting those, man. Plant them. I take them, bury them. Home Depot had kiwi plants. They had papaya. They had dragon fruit. Every food plant that they had, I was buying, sticking in the ground. And when people ask me, like, how do I get started? What should I do first? I always tell them, grow everything you can get your hands on. Learn as you go, because people spend all this time planning what they want to grow. They're planning their garden for years and years and years when they could have already stuck trees in the ground and been 2-3 years into their process. So if you're starting the garden, plant everything you can get your hands on. Seeds are cheap, so plant seeds like crazy. Just do it. And then when COVID happened, I had 6 weeks off work. I had never had a vacation in my life longer than 10 days. In 20-something years, whatever, working, never. And I had 6 weeks off. So I spent that time clearing out the forest back there and making it into a food forest. And that's how this whole thing started.
Whoa. So that sounds amazing. So you grew a lot of your own vegetables, your own fruit, your own food?
Now I do. Yeah. I picked an avocado today. I picked some star fruit today. I love it. It's addictive. And I'll tell you the other thing too. When you grow food, when you garden, I say, you are automatically going to become a healthier person.
Ooh.
Because 1, you're going to eat more fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
2, you're going to have just a better diet in general because you're going to know more. And 3, you're going to be more active because you're going to work. You're going to be in the garden. You got to be doing stuff. You're going to be not sitting on your butt watching TV all day. So you're automatically going to be healthier. What kind of bug spray do you use? Oh,
well, you were before. I was going to say. Yeah, because I was going to say, you're growing your own food. You need some pepper sauce. And I know we want to talk about bug spray. And we're going to come to that because Sonia is who the people go for. Okay? Right? But before you go get that bug spray, you got to eat. Right? Get you some of this Andre's pepper sauce. It is delicious. It is made with all natural ingredients. It is just amazing. And you're supporting our lovely Andre. You can get it from andrethefarmer.com, and you can also get it from the Amazon. Okay? You can get it and get you something delicious. So get you something to enjoy after a hard day of gardening. Get you this here.
Yeah, and it's made all natural. It's made with 8 different fruits and vegetables, and I guarantee you'll love it. It's absolutely delicious. But anyways, we did talk about Sonia real briefly, so let's talk about Sonia.
Yes!
One of the sponsors is Sonia's Bug Spray, and you'll notice there's a theme with everything that we sponsor on this show. It's all organic. It's all natural. Sonia's Bug Spray, this stuff is amazing. It does not even feel like bug spray. It feels like lotion. I hesitate to even call it bug spray. I feel like there needs to be a different name for this thing other than bug spray, because it's not just bug spray. It's
anti-itch. It is an afterbite. It is just amazing what you can do with it. And I know a lot of you all will be in your gardens and you will be bothered by bugs. I'm typically not bitten because I'm special, but for the rest of you, you need to get you something good. So get you some Sonia's bug spray. She's in the comments. It's spelled like Sonia with an I, not a Y, bug spray today. Now, the people do have a question though.
Hold on.
About,
Soniasbugsspray.com. And the only reason I have my mini one here is because I brought both of my big ones down to Mexico. And I'm going to order another one for here. So I'm going to be ordering another one real soon. But
we love it. So the people had a question for you about rodents. So they said that they are often attracted to their fruit and nut trees. What's the best practices you have of keeping rodents away from your fruit and your nuts?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I've gone through a lot of different evolutions with the squirrels and raccoons and so on and so on. So at first I tried what you could call chemical warfare, right? So the cinnamon, the cayenne pepper flakes,
all of that,
garlic powder, all the things that they don't really like the scent of, right? And that works temporarily for a little bit. You got to keep applying all the time. I've even tried the barrier method, where you just take some netting and you put netting around a particular tree, which works when the trees are very small. When the trees get big, it's not a very efficient method. I've even tried pest control, like physical pest control.
Okay, I understand.
They repopulate immediately. Like, I think they're very territorial for most of them. So when one leaves, another one's coming in, right? So you're not really solving the problem that way either. What I've decided I'm going to do, and I did this year, is I am going to try to grow more food than they can eat. So if I have a couple fruits that are like very rare on a tree, I'll protect them. I'll cage them up. I'll cage them with a metal cage or a wire cage or whatever they may be. But in general, I'm trying to grow more food than they can eat. Because I know people that have huge mango trees. They have like 1,000 mangoes on them, and they don't worry about squirrels. Squirrels can't put a dent in their mangoes. So, so my goal is to just continue to keep growing and get to the point where there's more mangoes they can eat. And I got pretty close to it this year. Like, I didn't really have too much of a problem with the squirrels. And the squirrels probably ate a good 50 mangoes at least, right? But there were enough that we were both able to be satisfied with our haul.
I love that. I think for pesticides, for pets in general, a pesticide specialist that I used to work under at the one of the labs at NC State, she would often say something similar, like grow more than you need, so that way you can still enjoy it. Because a lot of these things that you can put down, unless you put down some real nasty stuff, is going to just be a temporary fix. Even the most expensive, well-trained people. There's some bug stuff I'll always do, but you just got to be careful. So we love that. We loved it. So we are here, party people. We are answering your questions on YouTube. You can put your questions in the comments on Facebook or Instagram, rather. Put your questions in the comments. We are here for you, right? We are here to answer your questions. And we're just talking about origin stories because, again, my grandmama had a beautiful pothos. I have the pot in here. It doesn't have the pothos in it anymore. But it was like 20, 30 feet long as a child. That was one of the things that kind of enthralled me with plants. I used to do all types of crazy stuff.
Yeah, my grandmother had pothos too. I didn't know what they were at the time. There was another name that we used to use for them, which is not politically correct at this point in time. But
you were talking about the purple one. You were talking about the purple one.
No, the green one. They called it that. And maybe that's what they called it in Canada. Yeah, that's what they called it.
Okay, we'll talk offline because I want to hear that name. Go ahead and go with this question.
All right. I had a feeling that it was a solution. I did not have enough space for that practice. Well, then probably barriers. Barriers are probably physical barriers. If you're in a small space, then that means your trees are probably not huge, and physical barriers are probably going to be your best method for trying to, keep those critters off your food. It depends on what you're.
Have you done those? Because I know you're talking about like barriers around the trees. I've seen some people put like bags around the fruit. Have you tried that?
Yes, I have done it with mesh, like cloth bags. I've also done it with metal bags.
And I didn't know they had metal bags.
Yeah, it's like chainmail. But the critters will basically juice a mango through it. So it's a deterrent, but it's not foolproof. I'll tell you what is foolproof. My pineapple case. So I
Okay.
make pineapple cages by getting a dollar store trash bin, cut out the bottom, stick it over top of the pineapple, and then put a mesh on top, and it's locked into the pineapple grows into the space so that it can't come out, and that works great.
So yeah, if you have no space, do a physical barrier. So we have a question on the YouTube because again we got questions everywhere. Lazy Mama is asking, should I put a fly trap? I thought I had this before I put it up here. So I thought I had this. I think I'm having a dyslexic moment, so hopefully she'll put another thing up here.
I think it's like stepping a fly trap, or does that just attract more flies?
Yes, there it is. So depending on what type of fly trap you're using, if you're using a sticky trap, and I do actually have one hidden in this house somewhere. Somebody sent me one or something. There's actually one with Zevo. They are not a sponsor, but I do mention them from time to time. And they look like this that I have just off camera. You can get them from like any of your big box stores in the garden centers or just like offline. Zevo, Zevo. You can literally put the sticky trap here. It's a light blue light. The gnats will go to it. It traps them, and it traps big insects too, bigger insects. So when you turn it around, just try not to freak out like I do, and you can throw it away. And just in general, when you're trying to like fight flies or gnats, you want to try to treat where they are, and that's where I will always point to. And I usually have it beside me, but mosquito bits, like mosquito bits, anything with Bacillus thuringiensis or BT, because you can now just not trap them, but interrupt the life cycle.
Definitely. How do your climates differ? What can y'all grow that the other one can't grow? Well, I'm in Florida. I'm in 10A. And, and Derek, you're in South Carolina?
North Carolina. I'm in 8A. I used to be 7B, but I'm now 8A, I believe. But just 8 in general. Yeah.
So basically, I can grow a lot of the tropicals, subtropicals, and in 8A, like I don't think you can really grow subtropicals there.
I mean, until the winter comes, I can do. Once winter comes, that's it for me. So, like, if I wanted to grow citrus, things of that nature, I would have to bring them indoors. But I don't think there's anything that I can grow that he can't, unless you need something that needs like a hard winter. But even in most of those,
yeah, you can. You can grow pawpaw, apples.
You know what? We have talked about that before. I'm surprised it's not, because I would think pawpaw reaches down to Florida, but
it reaches to the northern part of Florida. I am like just outside the growing zone, although I do have 2 pawpaw trees, but they're very little and they struggle. It's just a little too warm for them here. They don't get any chill. So they struggle. I'm just outside the zone of it.
We love it, and we have another show off here, Giovanni, who says they use a tank with grippers and battery timers to water their veggie patch, which I love. A good automated watering. I just want y'all to know, if you can set stuff up to be automated, like, do that. I know it takes money and power, but if you can, it can normalize stuff sometimes. They occasionally add in compost juice into the water tank, and they use no pesticide. I'm glad they don't. I will tell everybody, use them and use them responsibly. Any pesticide. I know some of us are terribly against them. I love that for you, but use them and use them responsibly.
I think that's hysteria over pesticides. I feel like too many times people get they get a word. And once they get that word, there's no sort of discerning the different levels. Because there's a wide range of outcomes when you're talking about a pesticide. Like there's, you could use friggin' lemon juice and call it a pesticide, right? And then or you could use the harshest friggin' chemical and call that a pesticide. Like the word pesticide is not necessarily a bad word. Like really, you have to look at it on an individual basis and determine what the problem is with that particular pesticide. Like people say pesticides are bad. Well, we wouldn't have the food we have if we didn't have pesticides, right? We'd all be starving to death right now. But so there is a time and a place for it.
Way thinner.
Oh, you think it's some fresh veggie doing it?
Yeah, if there was starvation going on, I'd be way thinner. I tell you that.
Is there a need to winterize fruit trees in Florida, like heavy fertilized? Oh, you don't. I don't really want to fertilize things going into like a freeze or winter because I don't want putting out a lot of new growth because a lot of that new growth is going to be very susceptible to the freeze. So you really kind of want your trees, if you're in a place where it's going to be cold, you kind of want them to stop growing. You don't want to prune them right before it starts to get cold because they're just going to start to go into a growth phase, and then you're going to run the risk of them getting killed. You want them to be sort of in a hunkered down phase.
So the Giovanni was mentioning how what they do to their fruit trees. We have Althea's Kitchen. You might be able to answer this one, or if you're familiar with Brooksville, Florida. Where can they get pawpaw, or should they just try not to grow it? They're in 9B, Brooksville.
I believe Brooksville's a little north of me. I think you would have a little better luck than me, but we're not really in the right zone for pawpaw here. We're kind of out of the zone now. There's different varieties. You may be able to find a more southern variety that does better here. But I had the 2 trees I got them from a nursery that was basically they gave them to me for free because they were just dying little sticks. And they kind of came back to life. They've been in the ground for about 3 or 4 years now, but they grow really slow. I don't think this is the best place to try to grow them. But hey, give it a go. Give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? Like I said, try stuff. Stuff dies, it dies.
Do you know where they can get them? Do you know where they can get them from in that area? Because I'm thinking the farmer's market is just general, but I don't know if you know any specific people in that area or specific brands or companies.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I'm trying to think of all the nurseries. Like the nursery that I got it from is called A Natural Farm, and I suspect that they probably won't carry pawpaws again after their experience with pawpaws. In Brooksville, but I would recommend going to A Natural Farm anyways because it's just we've got so much there, and it's just a great permaculture type nursery. So,
yeah, check that out again. Farmers Market, they may help you out in that area, or just if you know people.
Should I leave my pawpaw seedling outside for this winter? The fact that it's a seedling makes me a little bit nervous because I know your plant. I know it's not super big. Generally, I would maybe take it in this winter, and then next winter, hey, you're on your own kind of thing. But I don't know. What do you think, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, I would be the one to be like, if I had it outside all year, I would leave it. Just to be like, let's just keep you going strong. But it depends on how many seedlings I had to. For those of you who are like, what is a pawpaw? A pawpaw is, I think, the main fruit tree, one of the main fruit trees that we have here in America that's native to America. It tastes like a mango meets a pineapple meets a banana, kind of a custardy texture. Some people apparently have some gastrointestinal duress when they are eating it. I've learned recently. I was watching Black Forager's page, and she was talking about some stuff going on with people eating the bread and stuff. I've had ice cream off of it before, and I didn't have any issues, but I have a tough stomach. But it's a very good fruit, and you might be able to grow it in northern Georgia, because I feel like you'd be on a similar zone as me. But again, just make sure you look up like at your local cooperative extension office what it has. But I would put it outdoors. If I had multiples, I would leave some outside and some indoors. And that way I would try to split the difference and see what happens.
Yeah, I think she only has one, so that's why I'm like.
Oh yeah, if you only have the one, I would keep that baby inside. But if I was like, let me get 3, then one of them is just gonna sit outside and get water.
Exactly. And she's in New York. She's not in North Carolina. She's in New York.
Oh, I thought she said she was in North Georgia. Oh no, I'm mixing up a person because I'm reading multiple comments. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, she's in Long Island, so it's gonna get cold. But
we definitely bring that inside.
Because you only have one, so I'd probably bring it inside because you only have one. Let's see who's up. Who's the question out here? Pesticide is a fighting word. I got dragged on Facebook letting my cat catch some mice. The feline predator was negatively impacting the ecosystem. Listen, I showed a hack. This is what I do with mosquitoes, right? When I have 5-gallon buckets, and when it rains, they get water in them, and I don't dump them out right away. I say, let's let the mosquitoes lay their eggs in there, And when they catch larvae, then I dump the bucket because I'm getting rid of a generation of mosquitoes right there. All right?
They're doing
Someone was like, you're harming the ecosystem, the bats and the dragonflies and the this, they need the mosquitoes in order to survive, and you're harming the. I'm like, really? We got like, there's a mosquito lobby now? Like, what?
There are people who are going to fight. So I sprayed outside of my mother's house. And I happened to mention to the person I was on the phone with or on a message with, hey, you know, I knocked down some spiders as I was doing. And they're like, I would think you would keep the spiders off and protect. And I'm thinking my family's old and I'm spraying because of cockroaches. And they're like, oh, I didn't know. And now they're like, well, I didn't think there was a lot of cockroaches. I'm in North Carolina. I'm from the country. The cockroaches grow the size of puppies here. And you gonna sit here and try to tell me what I've done for my life. Okay, so I think with some of us that do get dragged with some of the things we do, there are some people who are just going to be disappointed and they just want to be angry. And that's just let them be angry.
For the most part, I let them. I feel like that's the only way I get. I have less tolerance now, so I end up blocking a lot of people too. Like, especially
They
when
block
like
me.
I'll tell you the phrase that gets people blocked. Like when someone says, "You need to learn how to." That's getting you blocked almost immediately.
That's your trigger.
That's a trigger for getting blocked. Or
the people.
If you threaten to unfollow me, like even say do it jokingly, I'm cool with it. But if you threaten to unfollow me seriously, you're blocked immediately.
Oh yeah, you're like, let me help. You know, the thing that is a trigger for me is people like, well, if you were a real botanist, and I'm like, I didn't have like $40,000 of debt for you to come and tell. I cried on campus. Some of those bricks have remnants of my tears, I'm sure, absorbed into parts of the buildings where I was like, oh, your life is terrible. I was starving myself to death. It was a rough time. So it was rough. And for the person in Florida, D Luscious Gardening at Home said, try contacting Eat My Yard in Jacksonville. I don't know how close that is to Brooksville, but try to see if they carry pawpaw.
Yeah, I would try calling them. Yeah. We have a question here. He wants to know: should I start a mango using a starter or from seed?
Well, now that's for you. What would you do?
I think that he means by starter. I think he means buying a tree. Because when you buy a mango tree, it's already grafted. So it's already a grafted tree. They don't sell you seedling mangoes in a nursery, at least not a real nursery, a regular nursery. Because if you grow it from seed, you're going to be waiting like 10 years to get a fruit, and it might not even be a good fruit. It might, because they don't really go true to seed, so it'll be somewhat different than the fruit that you ate, where you got the seed from. So unless you're trying to create a new variety, I would definitely recommend getting a starter because that's how we get new varieties of mangoes. Is people plant a seedling and they get a mango, which is really cool. Yeah.
Wow. So definitely do that, and then. We had Lazy Mama here who said the flying cockroaches down in South Carolina got shook. Look, I just threw away one the size of a Shetland pony into my trash, right? It was at the door because I sprayed. I will get, you can get the Home Defense. This is something that you all can take to the bank. I have a link somewhere in my bio if y'all want to just get it through me and support it. But you can go to the Amazon, the same active chemical they got in that Home Defense you can spray around your house. Right. You can buy a concentrate, a little bottle of concentrate for the same price. So whether you buy the already diluted for $20 or the concentrate for $20, you just dilute it yourself. It takes a small amount for cockroaches, like a sixth of a teaspoon, I think. So I have my stuff, which I have in the car because I went home and sprayed. And I've been using that same bottle for like 2 years. It's like halfway done, only because I got my math wrong at the start. So I was using way too much. And that was a terrible mistake.
Let me ask you a question.
You can do that.
When you're using those things, do you measure it like for real, like total dose?
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. If I'm doing fertilizers and plant stuff that I'm comfortable with, I'm just going to go for what I know and just go for feeling. Because whole botanist here, I know how to balance my plants out and what they can take. I use liquid and granular fertilizer at the same time. Slow release and liquid at the same time. So my plants be just loving it. But that type of stuff, I'm like, I need to measure you out specifically especially because I'm asthmatic, I can't take too many crazy smells. And when I got my math wrong, I had to leave the house. Like I had to open up all the windows and leave because I was like, What's wrong? I realized later I measured tablespoons and not teaspoons. Big difference. Real big difference. I get them mixed up sometimes. So yeah, I can't be just boop 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 boop.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm outside, and I feel in my brain like I'm pretty good at measuring like 5 tablespoons. Like I feel like that's 5 tablespoons. Like
If I watch it enough, I could, but this is so small.
right.
It just literally.
I've never confirmed whether.
Oh, you've never confirmed it?
I've never confirmed. I'm just assuming. I'm assuming that looks like about 5 tablespoons. That's about right.
Lord. So speaking of measuring and stuff, we do got a question on this YouTube. Lazy Mama is loving us tonight, and I love you for loving us. She's asking a question that we get every so often. One of my favorite questions. Can I use coffee grounds as a source of nitrogen? Buying nitrogen in the store adds up. What say you, Andre?
Well, I already know the cheat. I cheated. I already know your answer to this question already.
He does. He does.
So I wouldn't be buying coffee grounds, first of all.
Yeah, but she's buying nitrogen because she wants to do this to get the free coffee grounds from the coffee people versus buying the nitrogen.
I got you. I understand now. All right. Well, give her the lowdown.
So look, coffee is not a source of nitrogen, not for your plants. For your microbial populations, yes, you can use coffee for that. I know somebody online told you go and get it and add all the coffee grounds. Short story, Derek bought a bunch of coffee grounds when he first heard this hack several years ago, like at least over a decade ago. And I went and bought all the coffee grounds or got all the coffee grounds I could get because I overdo stuff, okay? You know one thing about me, I do too much. I put coffee grounds on everything, and while every area smelled like a coffee, my plants didn't die as a result. And if you do too much nitrogen, you know how easy it is to take your plants out. Here's what I would tell you to do. You don't need nitrogen typically unless your plants are showing a deficiency. That's one. If your plants are not showing, like, oh, they're yellowing or they're looking bad, you don't even need to buy it. But if you do, get you a bottle of fish emulsions. It's a concentrate. You can buy a bottle. It used to be $10, $15, and I had that bottle for years. I think when I moved into this apartment, I finally got rid of it all. And I bought it when I first moved into the area in like 2010. So I moved in here in 2018. But I also got this. This is a bag of guano. This is a bag of guano. It's a concentrate. You need 2 to 3 pounds per 100 square feet or 1 to 1.5 tablespoons per gallon of water. And this is 80 pounds or 5 pounds. I've been using this sparingly for years. There's different concentrates of this you can get. But again, you don't really need it unless you're doing crazy stuff like I am.
I thought it was only guano if it came from bats.
So apparently, birds and bats, because there's bat guano and bird guano. I learned when I bought that off of the Amazing.
Amazing.
It was amazing, and I bought more because I like her. I was like, well, I had money at that point. I was, high on the hog, as people say. So I have 2 other boxes. If you, Lazy Mama, was in North Carolina, I would just give you a box of one of these bat guanos that I never opened.
Are you trying to say that you are poop rich?
I am so rich, right? Now, if you was in North Carolina and trying, I'd be like, look, just come over. Literally, I have pounds of the stuff that I bought and I never opened, right? And again, bat guano, bird guano, all of it's guano. It's all nitrogen rich, but typically any regular fertilizer you get is already going to have all the nitrogen you need, so you'll be okay.
So someone had a question about alpaca poop.
I've never used that before.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be like rabbit poop, which is ready to go, or if it's like more like a course or cow poop that needs to be cured over time.
I feel like it would need to be. I feel like with that, the ruminants need to be cured because rabbit, I think, is ready to go immediately. I used to work with a woman who would sell and give away her rabbit manure. I would have to look that up.
Bat poop is supposed to be good. Give me some of that. Well, that's not bat poop, but I do have something else that is very good.
What you got?
Got retained.
So do I. Oh my goodness.
Now, guys, if you do a lot of gardening and you have tools that you use in your garden, this stuff, once again, it's all natural. It lubricates your tools and it disinfects your tools. So your tools are going to last longer. If you're doing a lot of grafting and air layering, a lot of times I don't have the things that I need to clean my tools properly. And when you're doing an air layer or a graft, even a little bit of dirt, fungus, bacteria can affect your grafting results and can give you more failures and less successes. So if you clean your stuff with Retain spray, it's going to make your tools last longer, make your gardening more successful, and it smells good too. It's all natural. I think oregano oil is the main thing. You can get it on Walmart.com and RetainSpray.com.
We love to see it. And from what I'm seeing as a quick search, you don't have to compost alpaca manure, but I would just tell you check your local cooperative extension office to be sure, because I can't find anything for specific that. But in most cases, I would just say compost it if you have the time.
Okay. Starbucks Cat asks, can you air layer a tomato plant? Interesting
Good
question.
But you could, but you don't have to. If you have a tomato plant, any cut you make, like if you're cutting off the suckers, a lot of people will do that. You just sit it in a glass of water and it will root. Like a tomato can root up the entire vine, so you don't need to air layer that. If it was like, I don't know, a fruit tree, I would more likely air layer that. But tomatoes are chill like that. You don't need to.
Like
And
woody trees, you need to air layer.
yes, and our buddy Gray is in the audience in Instagram. He says alpaca manure is a cold fertilizer. It's a slow release, so you don't need to. You don't need to. This is what I'm talking about. Master gardeners, get you one.
Now, I saw another question.
They're asking about feeding a pawpaw.
Oh wait, the thing about tomatoes too is, I don't even put my tomatoes in water.
In water,
I just cut it and stick them in the ground, in the soil, and they'll actually root right in the soil.
It is. I just like to see the roots grow. I'm crazy.
See, I'm not very anti putting stuff in water. I like to just put stuff straight into the ground and sort of skip that water step. And I also heard that the roots grow stronger when they're in soil versus when they're in pots.
No, I would have to look that up because it would make sense. But I just like, because I get these long roots here. These long roots. This has been rooting for a while. So, whatever works for you, that's what I say. That, as long as it's scientifically accurate.
Someone asked, do y'all recommend the 250 Remedies book?
Do you reckon the two? I've never even heard of that. Have you?
No, I have not heard of that at all.
I don't know what a 250, unless you talk about one of those books where it's like, this is all the home remedies and house remedies you could ever need. I do have some of those in my home from my great grandmother. She used to have a bunch of these books. She would just buy them because once she had money, she was like, I'm just going to buy anything I want. But a lot of that stuff is based on, it's not necessarily based on science. So like, using, some people will be like, I milk my plants and I put the milk up there. And it's like, okay, but that's not really real. So if he's talking about one of those books, yes. I do have a conspiracy theory though. I had one of those books many years ago. If I disappeared, the government got me. I had one of those books many years ago, and it was talking about the cure for HIV. Some woman had a HIV infection. Her mama made her some soup or something that had like St. John's wort and other stuff, and it just got rid of the HIV. And this was back when I was big in Dr. Sebi, because I was a Sebiite for like several months. Most people don't know this. They don't know this about me. I was into Dr. Sebi for like at least a year, right? And I was and I was telling everybody about it, and then the book disappeared. And I cannot find that quote.
I mean, it disappeared in your house?
Like, disappeared. And I was like, where did it go? And it's like the book just literally gained legs. And around that time, I was also telling people about some study a Spanish-speaking country was doing with like the immune system of cockroaches trying to find a cure for HIV. And then I could never find that article again. And I was like, they don't want me to know.
Well, but the thing about it is, like, we already have basically a cure for HIV now, right?
Yeah, the medications, the Descovy and all of that Truvada, they definitely make you undetectable, and but it was like legitimate eradication, not just lowering and preventing transmission. But again, if y'all don't see me next week, the government did it.
It's funny. Me and my friend were talking about, like, because we were older, so we were talking about when we found out that Magic Johnson was HIV positive, and that was like 30-something years ago. Like we thought he was like immediately going to die. And the dude is like 65 years old and just living a normal life.
Money will do that to you because remember, he had it and then Eazy-E had it and Eazy-E passed. So it's about money and access, you know, and then your capability to go to the doctors because some people probably would have the money but wouldn't go.
So someone said, I'm out of Detroit, Michigan. I want to do the herbalist work. College isn't the route. What's the route? You know what? This is a hard one because I don't think there is a legitimate route. I think that
outside of college is not.
Right. I think you need to find your little niche and find your people. Right? Like your people are out there.
There are. And if you're doing like the legitimate work, which does integrate medicine, like actual medicine with herbs and vegetables and stuff. There's a woman I follow on Twitter and she has on my Instagram, VegDoc. She went to school, like legitimate schooling. She's a medical doctor. She knows like, okay, you could use this for this and this for that. But she was still, because she's a medical doctor, she's still able to prescribe medications. But that's with an academia route. And I know some people don't want to because you have whatever feelings you have about academia and say it, Josh. You can hit me up in my inbox and we can talk more. But outside of an academic route, what happens is you are now prey to what anybody tells you who is not an academic, who is not repeatable, who is not on the leash for being like legitimate. Right? If you go to a Dr. Sebi or a person I know who just, they were like, I'm writing a book on how to get rid of all diseases. You just read books that told you what you wanted, and you wrote this book, and you're not anywhere responsible for anybody doing these things and then falling ill, right? But if you go to like legitimate places and you get that legitimacy with you, you'll be, I think, pleased with the results. I know, again, you don't want to hear that, but just inbox me and we can talk.
And the same thing goes with a lot of the gardening influencers as well. You know, like I sometimes cringe when I hear some of the things gardeners, and I'm not trained gardeners. I'm not educated in gardening. I have a degree in biology, and you know, I do know a little bit about plants, I think. But some of the hear things, I come across it, and I'm just like, but I don't even want to like interrupt it because like I feel like I don't want to be the hater that goes in there and just ruins this person's hustle. You know, like this is their thing. You know, so I'm like, let them have their thing. And
meanwhile, I am the hater that will go and interrupt these people's hustles. I feel like that person is wrong, and let me tell you why. That old evil demon is lying to you. And I point, and I'm like, boo this man, boo this woman, boo this gender neutral individual. I will do it. Because the people will lie real bad. And again, there's no legitimacy. If I tell you something, I don't want you to kill your plants because of it. If I do, especially a plant that I have behind me, I was like, I took care of it. It died. It was already on its way out. I bought another one. And I've had this one now for years, and I need to give it back to its owner. So it's just about that legitimacy. But going into plant growth, Billy is asking, you know, they're Scotch bonnet seedlings, right? They finally placed them outside. Is it safe to fertilize them yet?
Where's this person located?
Billy O. Hayon 77. He says, you know.
Billy. Yeah, I know Billy. Okay. Why am I not seeing this question?
Instagram, maybe. It's at the very bottom under the herbalist.
I'm not seeing it at all. But however, you know, I even think here in Central Florida, like Scotch bonnets are more of a summertime thing. It's kind of late in the season for the seedlings, but I'd probably fertilize them because you're gonna need them to grow fast. You're gonna need them to do some work real quick if you want to get them in before it gets too cold for them. Billy.
I was thinking it was a little late, but y'all stay warmer than we do, so I was like,
we
maybe you got it.
But peppers really like that heat. They like
they
that
do.
hot. And yeah. So, hold on.
Nutritional discipline. Yeah, nutritional discipline and rehab is what I want to offer, bring, provide, and I definitely will be DMing. Goal certificates online through other people can offer and CR in biology, workout trainer degree. So like all those things you're saying, when you have, I am often split because I know phenomenally well-learned people, legitimately educated people who can teach me about plants. Andres taught me so much about fruit trees and stuff that I don't know because that wasn't my area, right? Botany and horticulture versus agriculture and all that other stuff is different areas, related but different. But there are people who learn outside of that, but they learn from legitimate sources, right? So you just have to be careful when you're seeking out sources that they're not just speaking to what you already believe or what is factual and actual. But definitely hit me up.
So yeah, so like I like this is where I hope that it goes and stays. Like nutritional discipline, yes, like that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, that's phenomenal.
I'm a little nervous about rehab because I'm not sure what we're rehabbing from, but like I feel like there's a few catchphrases that I hear all the time that make me just like cringe. Like for me, it's like whenever somebody says toxins, like when they say toxins, I'm like,
I gotta get the toxins out my liver. I think a thing this morning, black pepper and bananas, or no, not black pepper and bananas. You soak your bananas and your chia seeds. You eat that, and it will detoxify your liver. And I'm like, okay, but your liver already doesn't that already like remove like that's things like
that's the whole purpose of your liver is to detoxify your blood. But I feel like people overestimate the amount of toxins and the amount of parasites they have in their body. And I think people think that they are just chock full of worms and parasites and toxins and plastic and all kinds of stuff.
And these things that you are full of, you can't just remove. Like, there's some scary things that we should just not think about. I was watching a video on forever chemicals and these, these other things that get, basically in your body and how they're all over the world. And it's a certain point where if you look too deep into the science, you just begin to think, at least I do, woe is me. Like the world is it's chaos and we just need to burn it now. But chia seeds and bananas ain't going to fix it.
I saw a study today that linked colon cancer or stomach cancer, certain types of cancers with long distance running.
Yes, I was hearing about that. Hank Green was talking about that.
Isn't that crazy?
They were saying the blood, because when you're doing long distance running, the stomach is one of the first places you lose blood from. And that prolonged thing was like, that's why I don't run. I sit still all the time.
Me too. That's me. That's why I don't run.
I just be fat all the time. So I know we got that question here, and I know we got one on the YouTube. The people want to know, you read all those books behind you?
That's my whole family's books. So, it's me, my wife, my two sons. Some of our children's books over there, like teen books, whatever, that the kids read when they were young. I think I've probably read a good quarter of these books here, maybe. A good number of these books that are mine. I used to read a lot of books. Now, with all the social media keep out there, I don't really get a chance to read very much. I'll usually have like a book that's sort of my airplane book. And that'll be the book I read when I'm on an airplane. That's carried around.
So we got this question from Lazy Mama. She said she planted a couple and only got 2 Scotch bonnets. She had to have done something wrong. Don't you grow a lot of these peppers? I
do. And with peppers, they need to be fed a lot. They're very hungry plants. So, you got to feed them. They have their nitrogen. So they got like a good sort of all-around fertilizer. Probably you got to feed them maybe at least once a month. You want to feed them. That's usually the main reason why they're not producing.
And then last thing, I'll speak to this one. So it says maybe not detoxify, but drinking and eating certain things can balance hormones and how the liver processes. So all of us are human beings, right? But even though we are all the same species, no matter what race we are, all of us are slightly different. It's like different cars. Different cars process things different ways. So what I can do to my Hyundai that I drive is not what I could do to my Jeep Grand Cherokee. My Jeep Grand Cherokee could run on no oil and still be driving. My 95 Isuzu could take a hit and keep on going, but the newer models can't. So when we say detoxify, I want you to know, I'm so sorry. This is just a trendy word that people use to you that any doctor, any health pharmacist or professional would never tell you. It's just a way to sell you products, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say it. They just want to sell you water that won't alkaline your body. They want to sell you juices and powders that won't do anything. They want to detoxify you from your money.
I use alfalfa meal for my peppers. It's cheaper and lasts longer. Okay, I've never tried alfalfa meal.
I've used that once in a person's yard. They had some of it, and it was pretty decent. And actually, I think it was cottonseed meat. But it's something where, again, I just get regular fertilizers and I'm good.
Well, guys, it is time to wrap it up. It is 9 o'clock. The time just whips by when we're doing this, but I enjoyed it. So thank you guys for watching. Derek, have any parting words for the people?
I want y'all to know that all of us have a garden origin story, and next week we'll hopefully hit rains. But when it comes to whatever brought you in the plants, stick with it and stick.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, thank you for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, follow. There's plenty more to come. We'll be back here next Monday, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And, oh, man, there's one really good question here.
Which one is it?
I'm going to read this comment. I just want to say you've taught me more about agriculture than any university level course covering some of this stuff. Keep it up. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you. See you guys next week. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.